Pitch Competition. Mild applause. Yes. The pitch competition is our opportunity where some startup subscription box companies pitch their idea to a panel of judges to receive a winning package of over $10,000. $5,000 of that is cash money. So you are about to see an actual pitch competition here right now. So let's bring the judges on up to our judging panel here, please. And we've got a really cool new feature here as the judges are making their way. We have an applause-o-meter built into our light system. We have to calibrate it here. Okay, I'm serious. This is real talk. Spared no expense, John Hammond. So what we're going to do to calibrate this light applause-o-meter is start with everybody snap for me, please. Okay, now start to work in a light clap. Start to get louder. A little bit louder. A little bit louder. Like you just witnessed some amazing thing. Woo! A couple cheers. And silence. Okay. Rick, is that good? It's good. Okay. No, that's real. That is not just somebody back there doing this. It's not like the hockey game thing that's like, oh. That's real. Okay, so if we could, please, judges up front here at our judge panel, would you mind introducing yourself, name, where you're from?
Hi, my name is Matthew Aravallo, and I'm the co-founder and chief innovation officer at Loot Crate.
Hi, I'm Brandon Chestnut. I'm vice president at a PR firm in Detroit called Identity. Spent some background time as an OG organizer for Startup Weekend.
I'm Liz Cadman, and I'm the founder of My Subscription Addiction.
Hi, I'm Jason Brown, and I'm co-founder of Persona Nutrition.
Hey guys, I'm Danielle Krieg, and I'm a client partner at Credits, and we're actually sponsoring tonight, which we're super excited about. Can't wait to see what you guys have in store for us. So we're going to show a short video interview with Jesse from Hubble, as you all know, and rather than tell you what we do, we'll let you hear it from the horse's mouth, so to say. So thanks for being here and letting us be here.
Let's roll that footage.
Hi, I'm Jesse Horowitz. I'm the co-founder, co-CEO of Hubble Contacts, the first direct-to-consumer daily disposable contact lens subscription. When you think about a business like ours, the creative on social is such a key driver. How easy it makes to test different creative really flips the paradigm.
So since we launched, we've been running performance marketing campaigns and paid campaigns. Obviously, that's been one of our largest growth tactics. When we first launched, it was just me. I was the only kind of creative in-house and marketing person because obviously we didn't have huge budget for that. So we were just kind of trying to figure out what worked for us, what our brand was, what marketing channels would be most effective. But obviously that became quite time-consuming and challenging once we really started to grow and realized that we would need some extra lift.
Our team conducted a thorough review of the networks and the ads that they were running in those networks to identify how we could help Hubble achieve and exceed their marketing objectives. One of these goals was to reach out to a broader target audience. So our creative strategists got to work, and in less than a week we ideated a number of fresh concepts and new formats to explore.
Partnering with Credits, you can give them long lists of gifts that we'd like to see, of other creatives that we'd like to test, and we can get everything live, and you end up testing stuff that you wouldn't otherwise.
When Credits came to us, it was a huge boon because we were finally able to just test rapidly and iterate on new ideas, and things that would have taken me, weeks and weeks on my own were able to occur simultaneously with Credits' suite of designers.
When you have a really high throughput partner who's doing really good work, you don't kind of just say like, okay, what are the 5 most logical things to test? You say, what's everything we can test? Anyway, that's why we enjoy our work with Credits so much. It's why I make referrals to them all the time, and it's why I'm talking to you right now.
Thank you, Credit. Thank you. So the way this is going to work, our first competitor is going to come up in just a moment, and I'm also going to say that I think James Citron took our clicker. Okay, cool, great. And they're going to have several minutes to present. And probably a large majority of you here have been part of starting a company or a startup, and you've pitched your company or had to talk about it before. And what these folks are doing is quite a brave act, doing all this in front of all of you. So let's give them that generosity, that spirit. And welcome to the stage our first competitor from High-Strung.
Losing it. What's up, everybody? All right, I want you to walk with me for a second. Do you remember when you were little and grown-ups would always come up to you and they would inevitably ask that question, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you would say something really exciting like an astronaut or subscription box owner. For me, it was a pony. Yeah, I was that kid. I want you to hold on to that for a second because we're going to come back to it. My name's Cassie Paget, and I am the co-owner of High-Strung Subscription, which is a monthly subscription box for guitar players. What we do is we supply maintenance tools, and we also teach new players how to take care of their instruments. What makes us unique in our niche is the fact that we only supply maintenance tools and things that help you play your guitar. Now, of the estimated 6 million people that play the guitar in the US, there are still tons of people that take their guitars into a big box shop and pay $60 to $75 for a full setup. What that is they're getting their strings changed, they're getting their guitar tuned, polished, and things like that. What we do is we provide them with the tools, we provide them with the know-how by our YouTube tutorials, and then we also provide them with an online community in case maybe that's still not enough and they need a little bit of support. High-Strung launched in November 2018, and after that, we won the Create Joy Accelerator program. Whoop, whoop. Yeah. Winning the program allowed us to start doing what we needed to do for our customers. We used all of the money and moved it into making sure that we could customize our boxes, and so could our subscribers, and also providing boxes for more instruments. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever known a guitar player, but, well, they drink and they know things, all right? My partner, Dalton, has been a guitar player for over 20 years, so what we knew coming into this business was that guitar players are extremely particular about the things that they use on their guitar, the brands, the gauges, the types. So what we use that money for is we are building a fully customizable website for our customers to come on, see what they're putting in their boxes, get exactly what they need because they need it and they deserve it. And as a little bonus, we'll be rolling out our subscriptions for bass guitars and ukulele when that comes out later this year. Woo! We got a bass guitar fan here, guys. Wow. All right, so Dalton and I have been artists for the majority of our adult lives. He is a guitar player, and he was a film actor and kind of a stand-up comedian. And one laugh. I worked in theater, costume design, and then I also taught children's musical theater. On my end of the spectrum, what I got to see is that spark in an artist ignite for the very first time. Little tiny ones, real cute. As adults, we've known some amazingly talented artists, amazingly passionate artists, some extremely sensitive artists. And unfortunately, we've also seen those artists get affected by the world around them, giving up on their dreams, being told that they need to be more realistic and get a real job. Encouragement in any form is so impactful. It is one of the most important tools that we can include in our subscription because it can make the difference between an artist losing their passion or finding it again. All right, let's go back to that memory. Do you remember the first time somebody told you you couldn't do it? Do you remember When somebody told you to be more realistic after your entire life being told you can do whatever you want, but somehow now that you're an adult, the rules change? Do you remember when you gave up on your dream? At High-Strung, we never want our subscribers to be able to answer that question. Thank you.
And just a reminder, judges, you have about 3 minutes to follow up with some questions.
Hi, great presentation.
Thank you.
It was a little hard to see some of the business stats there, but I saw the majority of them.
Thank you.
Can you
Sorry, I forgot the clicker.
you mentioned that the personalization is really important in that musicians and artists have a particular taste, whether you might help them discover something, but they might have something that they know is comfortable for them, whether it be style or something about the product.
The way that they play, the different style of music, the
Sure.
different things.
How are you thinking about that growth, or that personalization scaling with your growth over time?
It will, absolutely.
And what that looks like. How are you preparing for as you go from 1,000 to 10,000 to 100,000 monthly subscribers, keeping that personalization kind of in place?
So what we do is we always include strings and picks in our subscriptions. The other items are going to revolve around maintenance, and so when we're going through, there's only a certain number of gauges of strings for a guitar. So you start out with 8s and 9s, and then you're going to go up to about 15. And so there's only so much customization that can happen, and I do think that it's scalable, but the thing is if we're not offering the products that people are playing, then they're not buying our product. So we have to do that for our customers.
Great presentation. Appreciate the energy.
Thank you.
Come right out hot. So you talked about the 6 million potential market of guitar players and the impact of big box stores. But music in some cases is often a little bit more intimate than that, and there's a lot of smaller retailers. So of that 6 million, have you done any validation on customers around how many are a big box versus they're going to their local guitar store or music center and they have a sense of community there? How are you positioning against that, or what have you done research on to kind of talk about how you might be different?
So the research that we've done, unfortunately at this point in time, there are a lot of big box stores that are going bankrupt. And people are moving to purchasing all of their guitar stuff online. The thing is when a lot of people run to a big box store, it's when they pop a string and they need one immediately. So that's where they're running to get it. But with us, you've already got it there. It's coming to your house. And so you're not going to have to run to that store. And so that's kind of what we are supplying. It's the value proposition is we work with all of the companies, Ernie Ball, Diodario, Dunlop. We have 4 more companies that we're about to jump on to our subscription box. And these are the major manufacturers of strings and guitar tools in the country. And so we have everything that people want, and now we're taking it straight to their doorstep. And so that's saving them time, and it's saving them money.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you where you're finding your customers and also how they're finding you.
So what we do is we do a combination of things. We do have our Box on the Crate Joy marketplace. We do have our own website. We currently have a combined amount of about 15,000 followers on social media that we kind of built up starting October last year up until now. And so we do social media influencer marketing. We're about to start a brand ambassador program. And then also we do Facebook and Instagram ads as well.
You got a last question as well. Last question.
Oh.
Okay, so thank you so much for your presentation. So your target right now are those subscribers that you have monthly. What does that look like? What's the age range that you have?
The age range? Mm-hmm. Well, the age range that we sell better to as far as our online marketing is going to be 45 to 55. But as far as who we're marketing to, can be anyone from a 13-year-old boy's grandmother who's just like, I don't know what to get him, and up to somebody that plays their guitar in the 60s. It's a very wide range because it's so niched as an instrument that somebody plays as opposed to an age that they are.
Right, so I bought my son, my 6-year-old, a ukulele, and I'm trying to get him, interested in it, and it's an ongoing process.
Right.
So, when you're thinking about marketing to parents and And you talked about the dream. It's just something that's really exciting to me and
Right.
interesting. So hopefully you can figure out a way to target those
Yeah.
younger audiences to keep the dream alive.
There's a lovely video that you should check out. It's two young girls in Hawaii sitting right next to the beach, and they're both playing the ukulele, and their precision is so fantastic. Like, it made me want to play the ukulele, and I don't even have one, but I'll get one.
Anyway, thank you.
Thank
It
you,
was
guys.
great. Yeah.
Thank you. Is that clicker? Thank you. All right, let's test out our applause-o-meter for High-Strung. That's real. Oh, and oh! Wow, this seems sensitive. Cool. Well, thank you so much for that. And we're going to keep moving into our next presentation with our folks from the Humankind Box. Welcome them to the stage.
Murphy, we're the founders of Humankind Box. A few years ago, Grace got married, became pregnant, and was diagnosed with breast cancer all within a short period of about 6 months. When Grace told me about her cancer, I wanted to do anything and everything possible to show my support for her. But with Grace living in Boston and me in Detroit, this was going to have to be with care packages. I had a lot of trouble finding good, practical gift ideas, so I researched online, asked around for suggestions, and eventually came up with a few items I could send periodically. A year or two later, while chatting, we realized that there was a real need for a solution to help people support young women facing cancer specifically. Adding Grace's unfortunate newfound expertise and the concept for Humankind Box was born.
So Humankind Box is a collection of items specifically curated for the unique needs of young women facing cancer. So why young women? The experience of cancer in your 30s is very different than the typical cancer story that we're familiar with. Young women are focused on advancing their careers, expanding their families, living a really busy life. Enter cancer, and everything changes. Plans are on hold, body and identity are up in the air. I found myself fighting for my life while raising 2 young children and watching my husband go from partner to caregiver, all while hoping that my chemotherapy schedule wouldn't interfere with my career plans. So we've decided to address the full trajectory of cancer from diagnosis through survivorship in our before, during, and after boxes. So before, these are things, this is the freak-out moment before there's a plan in place. And then during, these are things for symptom management, for treatment, for surgery recovery, or for chemotherapy. And then after, these are things to address the constant anxiety that is survivorship, or for living with cancer. And then we offer different themed boxes that can be ordered as a single gift or as a short-term subscription. Our single order boxes are $25 to $200 to make sure that we offer these things to everyone who needs them at any price point. And then we offer a discount for a subscription purchase. And for us, this really isn't about a huge market size. It's about supporting the needs of young women who are struggling, who are frequently overlooked. But that being said, just for breast cancer alone, 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed over her lifetime, and there are currently 250,000 women in the United States who are diagnosed under the age of 40. If you add to that their mothers, sisters, friends, and coworkers, we're talking about a huge market.
So during our customer discovery phase, we talked with people in the medical space, as well as with patients, friends, and caregivers, and found so much love and support for our idea, not only from people wanting to buy boxes right now for loved ones in need, but also from cancer survivors who wish something like this was around when they themselves were going through treatment. With this potential pitch prize, we would be completing the purchasing of our inventory and finalizing our packaging design. We also intend to donate several boxes to get specific feedback before we do our mini launch, to test the market and then make any necessary changes before we do the full launch. We want to do this as carefully as possible to ensure the best possible experience for our Humankind Box recipients, but also to answer the question of what can I do to help.
And to wrap up, we just have a short video that gives an overview of our concept.
Well, first off, that's just an amazing idea. So great to see something that makes sense and is driven with passion. But I mean, it does suck. And so it's really good that you're up front. So congratulations on every level.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So how are you finding customers?
Customers? So we haven't launched yet, but we're planning to work through patient organizations. There are a few that are specific to young adults, young survivors. We've been approached by a couple of foundations already that want to partner with us. Word of mouth. There's a huge market, unfortunately.
Yeah. You should approach the Gates Foundation.
Yeah, thank you.
Great presentation and killer idea. Question though, we're so used to like talking about concepts around growth hacking and using data and running ads and all these things to just like start to build a base. But with medical issues and what people are facing, like not all that information is readily available. So how do you look at the normal toolbox of growing this type of company and knowing that everybody puts like what they're dealing with out on the internet, or you don't have access to that information? How do you plan to scale, like once you launch?
It's interesting that you say that, because we have in our chemotherapy box, we have chemo countdown cards for your Instagram or your Facebook page, because people are doing that. It's kind of fun to be, not fun, that's the wrong word, but people are front and center about it. I mean, when you're in the infusion chair and you've got your like 1 to go, or halfway done, or I'm almost done, like there is that support and community, which I think is unique to young women, or young people, I should say. So as far as scaling, we are talking about single boxes primarily. We're gonna offer things for milestones. So it would be maybe someone could buy a gift for your surgery date, your first chemotherapy, and then at your cancerversary 1 year out. So it's a little bit different than your typical subscription model. But I hope that answers your question. Do you want to?
Who are your next 3 hires?
Our next 3 hires?
Who's the next 3 people you're going to hire?
That's a good question.
I'd say customer service, digital marketing, and maybe an intern.
Yeah, an intern.
Great presentation. One question I had, I know you had mentioned both the subscription model and one-off boxes and different price points, and I think that's a great idea to offer a wide variety. I'm curious too, I know you guys have done some initial market research and validating this, if you've gotten any feedback on what would likely be your biggest sellers, what price point would target a large percentage of your audience, or anything like that?
We're looking to answer those questions with the when we do the donations of boxes and getting feedback and finding specific details from people and their experiences, so we know exactly how to address that.
In terms of just like competitive landscape, is there anyone else, especially from a healthcare standpoint, that is offering like a similar single purchase type of product? So I'm thinking hospital, I'm thinking, a primary care provider that refers you to a specialty company, like based not only on your domain expertise, but just your research. Is there anybody else that's like in this space at all?
Not really.
There are gift boxes out there, but they tend to be like ginger tea and fuzzy socks. We're looking at like JP drain holders for the shower. I mean, these are things that are very specific to the needs of young women specifically going through this. So financial, we're going to partner with, there's someone that we're working with for a financial planner to talk about medical cost, estate planning, like things that are difficult but necessary and very unique to cancer and that age group. So that's why we're different.
Thank you.
All right, and our applausometer worked. Does that happen? Let's try it again for the Humankind Box applausometer. Right on. Right on. All right, and we're going to continue on. Please welcome up to the stage our representative from Crate of Good.
So there's a homeless friend sitting on the steps of the Sydney Opera House, and he's holding a sign. It says, "Just looking for good conversation." And a young man walking home from work stops and sits down next to him. says, hey, me too. But really, aren't we all just looking for something good in the world? We're brought up wanting to belong to a higher purpose and wanting to do good, but every day we're pulled by a consumer-driven society that is focused on buying things. At Creative Good, we bring those worlds together. My name is Nicholas Kristock, CEO of Creative Good. We are a social impact subscription box that connects subscribers directly to causes and charities and delivers world-changing products. Our quarterly crate is priced at $59.99. It has 5 products in it, and it's delivered every 90 days. All the products in the box come from organizations around the world doing good, and they focus on one of our 4 featured causes: animals, children, environment, and poverty. Now, these aren't just 5 everyday items in this box, because every item has a direct social impact tied to its purchase. Every item makes an impact. Take, for example, a bar of soap in our last box. For every bar of soap purchased, 30 days of clean water was given to someone living in poverty. Now, those impact numbers are powerful and awesome, but they're also really important to the subscriber. We know that 55% of people currently give to charities. And when asked, 64% of people said that they want to give more, which begs the question, why don't they give more? And when asked that, 81% of people cite lack of transparency as their reason, meaning they don't know what a charity is doing with their donation. So guess what we do? On top of spreading awareness for organizations doing good and delivering world-changing products, we've created a transparent giving experience through the Creative Good Impact Vote. We connect subscribers directly to the impact. We empower the subscriber to choose the impact each quarter that they connect to most, and then we make an additional donation to the charity making that impact happen. Transparent impact, chosen by you. We just finished our first 90 days in business, and so far, we've been able to help 34 rescued wolves in California get essential vitamins and supplements. We've fed 68 at-risk youth in inner-city Chicago. We've helped provide 7,980 days of clean water for people living in poverty. And we've helped offset 14,960 pounds of carbon in the atmosphere. And all this, thank you, yeah. And all this with just 33 subscribers. We want those impact numbers to be so much higher. They need to be. And so just 5 days ago, we launched a second lower cost subscription option called our monthly kit. It's $13.99, delivers 1 social impact product every 30 days. And now our subscribers have 2 ways to make a difference. Our team is made up of 3 rock stars and 1 dreamer. We have Clay, who handles all the creative and fulfillment, Brooke, who tackles the marketing, Cam, who is in-house digital strategy and development. I'm in the clouds most of the time, but I've also worked in charity for the past decade. And together, we make a solid unit. Our box has some good products in it. One example of those is on my feet today. These are socks from Bombas Socks. For every pair of socks sold, they donate a pair to a homeless friend. And this cause is extremely close to me because I was that homeless friend sitting on the steps of the Sydney Opera House, participating in a social impact field study to better serve the homeless community. I personally connected to a cause, and now I promote that cause in any organization that supports it. We all connect to something good. We all are looking for the good in the world. If you clap for anything, clap for impact, because we know the world needs it. We are the folks from Creative Good. Thank you for listening.
Great presentation. I have two questions. The first one, would you be willing to change the name that doesn't have crate in it, if necessary?
Would we be willing to
change the
name?
name to take the word crate out of there? I'm just kidding.
If we can help offset 20,000 pounds of carbon in the atmosphere, you can call it whatever your name is. We can call it that.
Well, that's actually a reply. Can you tell me a little bit more about the structure of your business? Are you set up as a nonprofit? Are you set up as like a B Corp? And then, you have your first 30 plus subscribers. Obviously you don't have a complex P&L or anything at this point, but just a little bit about, I know we don't have a lot of time, what that, like the business element looks like. Like how are you continuing to hire and scale in order to continue to do this great impact and this great social good that you're doing?
For sure. There was a lot of questions there, so I'll try to answer as many of them as possible. We are just an LLC, just launched. We will become a B Corp for sure. You can look at, if you look at our average box, the profit margin on that is about 35%. That's after we make 25% of that profit in a donation to the charity. So we figure out those unit impacts every quarter, and that becomes that donation to make that direct impact happen. As far as how we scale, we know that our break even with 4 team members is about 1,666 subscribers to continue to make the impact that we want to make every single quarter. If there's any follow-up more questions after that, I can answer them after for sure.
So great presentation. I love what you guys are doing. So my question for you is, how do you get people hooked on the goods and not just the good, right? So they have a lot of options out there to give, not a lot of transparency in a lot of cases, but how do you get that hook in order to turn it into good overall? Get more subscribers?
It is an awesome question, and it's something that I am so passionate about, because the way to connect someone to the good today is to make it personal. And so in the coming months, we're launching a video system where we'll actually be able to show the subscriber those at-risk youth that we help feed. We'll be able to show that subscriber the rescued wolf that's getting those vitamins and supplements. And to make it personal is what makes it stick.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
Based on your just knowledge of your customer or your desired customer, do you feel like you're more so going after a individual or group or family that it has an additional $250 to spend because they're already donating to charity, or is it an individual or subscriber that only has $250 a year and they're looking to like maximize that impact? I feel like there's a lot of ways to look at that. Like based on your vision, who's the ideal subscriber in terms of their perspective on charity?
I would say that the ideal subscriber has to be a 27 to 47-year-old working professional who does have some extra dispensable income to give. But in addition to that, the ideal subscriber is that captive audience that probably is already giving. And so we're linking with the charities that we partner with to both market to their lists of donors that already give, as well as showcase their charity to all of the other people that we get to market to every day. And so it's very much a win-win situation with the charities, because they're able to give us exposure to the people that already give, that captive audience, and then we're able to showcase their charity to tons of other people that wouldn't otherwise have seen it.
I agree with all. It's a great presentation. How are you planning on financing the business?
So far, it's been self-funded out of the founders, and we're growing slow. I think that I've taken on funding in other business ventures, and that's a whole beast in and of itself. And the organic growth that we've seen so far has been great. So to answer your question on how are we planning on funding the business, slow growth right now is our path, because to grow fast means you miss the chance to make those personal connections that are so important. To grow fast means you miss vetting the charities properly that you want so badly to help make the impact with. So slow organic growth to start, and continuing to self-fund is the current path.
I just want to encourage the self-funding. It's a good point there. I mean, our business, we didn't take any capital for 3 years, so congratulations on that kind of growth.
So you're at 30 plus right now. What do you think it's going to take to get you to 100, triple that?
So at the end of this year, the goal would be to have partnered with 16 charities and have positively impacted them, to help thousands of children and those living in poverty. And through that growth, connect with the networks of those charities and so on and so on. And so what do I think it's going to take to get us to the next level? I truly think it's going to be getting ingrained in the communities that care about giving back, and driving awesome, meaningful content that we create and curate, and delivering that out to the community of people that we know want to see it.
I have one quick question. Great job.
Thank you.
I was very interested to see the launch of the monthly option as well, and I'm curious what you're forecasting or planning as far as the breakdown with subscribers, where you see the most of them ending up, if you imagine there's going to be a lot of overlap in people subscribing to both.
So in our forecast, we've built out a 70-30 split, 70% for the monthly, 30% for the quarterly. And definitely the goal with introducing that monthly is to almost have it be a gateway into giving more. To get that one product a month and feel good about giving back, and then say, you know what, I'm ready. I'm ready now to make 5 impacts every single quarter. And so I think 70-30 split is the answer to your question. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys.
Okay. Thank you. Now let's applause-o-meter for the crate of good. All right. Groovy. Thank you, judges.